Hello and welcome everyone to episode 14 of ZeroCool's Hard Drive. Here with your host Houseman. It is a hot and sunny July 19th today, unfortunately. Hopefully it'll cool down. With me as always though, Dunkel and a man who killed the first Goomba in Mario 1,507 times to still lose the game, Berg.
Definitely
And
beat Mario on the Game Boy.
Be
So
better.
I
on the
don't
Game
believe
Boy.
you. And I do believe you probably died in the first Goomba 1,507 times.
I don't think so.
But today we're hopping in the phone booth, transporting ourselves back to 2017 and watching a little horror flick based on a Stephen King story called It. And with that being said, Dunk will take us away with some factoids.
Yeah. So this movie, I want to start with the financial part of it. So their production budget was only $35 million and they grossed $719 million. And they exceeded the initial release of the movie, which is
$35 million was the budget for this movie?
yeah.
That is insanity.
Crazy. Yeah. And
How did they get away with that?
I don't feel like 35 million. I don't feel like they put $35 million worth into this movie.
right.
Well,
and
no,
like,
but for a 2017 movie, that is like low ball, especially for one as big as that.
yeah, and like
I know,
well,
but
and
I
think-
feel like it could have been lower.
Yeah, and I think like when you kind of watch through it, like there wasn't a whole like there was a lot like in the houses or in the sewers kind of stuff. So maybe it has a good way to save money, like a lot of green screen stuff. So
maybe.
yeah, kind of back to it. This is a 2017 adaptation of Stephen King's It. This one was directed by Andy Muschietti. It is why you say his name. A few facts from the movie: Pennywise's eye trick in the movie was 100% real. That was Bill Skarsgård's actual ability to do that with his eyes. Also, throughout this movie, they used 4,500 gallons of fake blood throughout the entirety.
It's like a swimming pool's worth. Holy moly.
Yeah, and
For like one scene in the movie?
No, there's quite a few scenes. It gets pretty gory.
No. Not that
I
gory.
think there were a few that,
It took a
though that
couple
one was
takes.
probably, definitely the worst.
So we'll kind of get to that. This is a kind of interesting one for me. So Pennywise's outfit, and I didn't really notice it, but it was intentionally covering multiple eras, both medieval, Renaissance, Elizabethan, Victorian. The idea was to give him timelessness, if that makes sense. That he's covering multiple eras. He comes back every 27 years. Again, that's something I didn't notice. That's more of like an outfit kind of thing for him.
I was
The
gonna say, they didn't
dialogue,
make that very relevant in the movie, so
no, right? It's one of those like
I
quiet things. Like,
I
oh,
feel
this
like
would
they
be cool.
failed at that one.
I mean, I remember seeing this version of Pennywise when it first kind of came out, and I definitely thought it was like a more interesting version. I saw very tiny bits of the original movie for this. I was a very small child, and the only scene that I saw is where Georgie gets his hand grabbed, and then that just gave me nightmares to never touch this movie again. So I appreciate
We
that.
all float
Yes.
down here, Georgie.
I appreciate that from you guys. The dialogue in this movie was encouraged to be improvised. So Richie's one-liners throughout the entire movie are all his own thought process. Him just like slinging swear words and random things. The town of Derry was built in Canada for this, and then the Losers Bond, which is the squad of kids, was a real thing. Before the movie, they had the kids all get to wet there for just 3 weeks. Yeah, they had them hang out for 3 weeks. They gave them a booklet of the 80s. And they say, we want you guys to hang out. And here's some facts from the 80s. Go swimming, go on bike rides, karaoke sessions. Get into character.
That sounds kind of weird, but also kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's
Kind of
method
weird. I feel like Finn Wolfhard already would have, because Stranger Things was already happening.
Was that already filming when this
Yeah, I would have guessed
movie was
so.
released?
Yeah,
He
so
would have
Finn's just
already
gonna-
he would have already been
just
living
gonna-
in the 80s, basically.
He's just gonna
Fair.
kill it. And the other kids are gonna be like, I don't know what he's talking about.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so there's kind of a couple facts from the movie. Pretty interesting when I kind of get into it. So yeah, there you go.
Thank you for
All right,
that,
who
Dunkel.
wants
Appreciate
to
those facts.
start us off?
Yeah.
Well, let's launch right into the movie, I suppose. The one that, as Dunkel referred to, kind of haunted everybody's nightmares when they were children, at least that first version of it. And I'm sure this one has too. I'm sure there are many, many children out there who probably saw this way too early. But we open in a scene. Oh, go ahead.
It still rolls the hair on my neck.
So we start off in rural Northeast, of course, because Stephen King has this thing for the Northeast. I think it's where he grew up or something, and so he kind of has a fondness for it. But we start in with Billy and his brother Georgie, Billy being the older brother, who apparently is homesick. There's a rainstorm going on. Georgie wants to play, and I guess Billy's making him this nice little like paper boat, and apparently covering in wax too. It's quite a project, actually.
Yeah,
so
like
Yeah, you gotta
the,
make it so the water doesn't get on the paper.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that was a thing. I never remember building a wax paper boat, but hey, more power to 'em.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you
Or
get
he-
this
but-
scene that where everybody's seen 875 times
Did the
Yep.
original one have
of
Georgie
him
just like
chasing down.
Yeah, but
the
did the
boat.
original one actually have Georgie smashing his head on a I don't know what you call it, like a road sign?
That's a good question.
I don't know. I haven't watched the original one in a very,
Right. And
very
like for
long
me
time.
to not know enough about the prior movie into it, I was like, was there some significance to him bashing his head? But guessing not. So kind of jumping with that. So the iconic scene, Georgie kind of loses his boat down the drain. Just before that, you get a hint at Pennywise, and that's when Georgie goes out of the basement and he kind of sees some eyes off into the distance. He turns on a light. There's nothing there. Jumping again, he's staring down the sewers. Mr. Pennywise has his boat, asking if he wants it back. He said, "If you want it, you gotta grab it." And he bites into his hand, which like was a little bit more graphic than I would remember from the original.
Yeah, you get the
Same.
hiya, Georgie.
Yeah.
And
I
then he
think it
does
was
the
go
let's tell
ahead.
each other our names so we're not strangers anymore. Ugh.
Yeah.
I just-
Georgie, I'm Pennywise.
So the two things on the scene. Number one, I thought I had watched this adaptation before, but I don't know if I watched the entire thing. Because after that scene, I'm like, wait a second, this does
Did
not
you get
seem
scared?
familiar.
Did you see the
So
opening?
no, it's not
eyeballs?
that. It's just I kind of it was a lot of it was unfamiliar to me, which was a good thing. Watching it for the first time.
Yeah, I came in not having watched this one either, and I tell you what, I don't care for it. So
We'll save that till the end.
yeah,
there,
we'll
Bird.
keep getting into it.
Don't
but
rip into it too hard.
I
Little-
probably will.
Little foreboding there. And the other thing is, so they already set Georgie up when he went to the basement. It's kind of like a skittish boy, as most
Mhm.
boys would be from dark basement, which made me wonder, like, why did he hang around that sewer drain so long? I mean, obviously, I think the boy's probably smart enough to realize
Pennywise.
shouldn't be
Yeah,
a
if
person
you know
down.
how sewer
You know-
drains work, I mean that boat's gone. Was he gonna
Yeah.
jump down there? Like,
Yeah,
was he gonna? Does he think he was gonna see it?
Yeah.
But the
kid's
moment he
like
sees his
6.
creepy, immaculately painted clown face, I mean, I would think he'd be running. Period.
The only thought I had when he was telling them to take the boat was, I was like, it would be really funny if he just grabbed the boat really fast.
I was thinking
Yeah.
that too. I was like,
What if he actually did grab it? Oh,
I
see you
knew-
later.
I
I
knew
was like,
this
that'd
go-
be a great part. Let's do that.
I knew it going into that. Like, I knew this was an iconic scene, so they weren't gonna like find a way around it. But I was thinking the same thing. It'd be so funny if like Georgie just like, "Okay, thanks," snags it and takes off running.
Yep. Faster
that.
than Pennywise just grabs it.
Right?
I'm the
That
master
is-
now.
Or
Yeah,
like I
that's
said,
what
just
you feel,
noped out of
yeah.
there. Like, I don't like what I'm seeing. I'm going back home.
Right. And also so again, so Georgie loses his arm crawling up the street, which is very gruesome.
Yes.
The old lady was outside, and this is the part where I was kind of lost a little bit. She was outside, like doing all the stuff on her patio. She doesn't hear her screaming, but then she just happens to turn around and see just this massive amounts of blood on the street, and she does nothing about it.
Well, yeah, because she seemed like the whole idea was they pitched it as like her being concerned about him because he was
Yeah.
this little boy alone went out playing in
I
the
don't
street.
know. She
looking down
kind of
the
just
storm
looked out
drain.
on the street and saw him, and then she went
Mhm.
back inside to get her cat. That's when his arm gets bit off, and then she goes back out, and she never sees the blood because the rain
Yes.
washed it away.
No, she you could see the blood. I was in a completely dark room, not by choice because I just couldn't see it because of the glare. But you can see some blood in the street, so she does see the blood. Whether or not she realizes it, at least you could see it when.
I
she
think they
kinda looks
heavily
back,
indicated by her reaction that she did see the
see
blood
some
there
blood. Yeah,
because
She
that's
didn't
when
have a
that's when they
reaction.
cut away to the future too.
she kind of like stares at it.
There
a
was
little
no
bit.
Well, she
reaction. She
lingers.
didn't like run
She
to the
lingers.
door and be like, "Oh, I saw a bunch of blood on the on
Bird,
the
she
road."
lingers
Yeah, the part I'm
She
stuck
doesn't
on.
linger. She sits there
She
with her cat. And
lingers
she turns
at the
around.
porch.
Yeah, I guess the part I'm more stuck on is that Georgie is clearly screaming like bloody murder on the street, like raining or not. Like you're gonna hear the kid screaming. Like, why did you do something? And then it just kind of jumps into. They didn't really give a timeline about like how much
No.
they jump forward. They just say
Well-
like further into the summer is kind of what you get.
Well, no, because don't they start with 1988, I believe, and then they say like 1989.
It was within the same summer because right after this, you're jumping too far forward with it, but like the bully kind of like when he's kind of yelling at Bill, he's like, "I've been giving you a pass all summer because of your."
All year.
Oh
School
yeah,
year.
you're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been giving you a
maybe.
pass all school year. The
Yeah.
whole it was a whole school year at least
Yeah.
because they're in summer during the whole movie.
Yes.
So yeah, he was like, "I've been giving you a pass all year because of your brother, but not anymore."
Yeah, because there's one scene where the one of the kids freaks out, like, "It's summer. We're supposed to be having fun."
Why
actually
are we
say,
doing
they actually
side
say
on
that
a
like
bike?
2 or 3 times in this movie. There's so much repetitiveness in this movie
Yeah.
of things that they say. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So interesting to think like how much time has passed, because you kind of jump to where like Bill's just kind of like emotionally seems like he's better about his brother being gone, because you kind of see him with the friends and everything, kind of do like his little nerdy walk down the hallway with his friends.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
and then you
iconic
kind of meet all
80s
the
hallway scene.
yeah, you kind of meet all the characters. You meet Beverly, where they put water in the garbage can to dump it on her, which is just another
Oh.
level of bullying, like to make
Mhm.
sure that it's as gross as possible.
And I just thought nasty. That's all I could think.
And you meet, I think it's Mike, who is the homeschooled one with the sheep.
Yep.
Mhm.
You
Yeah,
kind of
he
get
does-
you kind of get a little clip of his life where they use the I can't remember what that thing
It's
is
like
called.
it's like a bolt gun.
Yeah, a bolt gun to put the sheep down more humanely is how that works.
Yeah, it's like a CO2 canister with a bolt on the inside.
Yeah. So you kind of get the little bit of a backstory on everybody kind of right
Mhm.
off the bat. And you meet the bullies,
Oh yes,
the crazy. Well, at least one of them's crazy, I guess. One of
the
them's super
psycho.
crazy.
Yeah, and when
absolutely psycho.
you kind of like not defending it, but like you kind of understand why later. But this is the part where he brings about like Bill kind of speaks up and he's like, "Hey, you should like not pick on everybody." And he's like, "I've been giving you a pass all year long. You're gonna pay for it now. It's gonna be a rough summer for you." And then you kind of get your first introduction of like the new kid in town and the redheaded gal of like
they have a
this,
little awkward
little
teen
little
moment.
like
I think Ben was
teen-
his name, right?
yeah,
Ben,
little,
yep.
yeah, little love interest, I guess, if you will, but like secretly. And that's kind of like bouncing around the whole movie, honestly, a little bit too.
Yeah, the beginning of the movie, as they're setting everything up, is there's a lot of bouncing around because then you go back to Bill's house where his dad found out that he stole plans for the sewer system for the city and
Yep.
was building the drain system to see where his brother might have ended up, which is very smart for, I'm guessing they're supposed to be like 14,
Yeah,
15
probably.
maybe. I don't even know if they're that old.
Mhm.
They're pretty small.
I thought
Right.
smart, but like a little strange. I mean,
Well,
Like you got, I mean, you gotta be a little psychotic because like, where'd my brother go? And they're like, this is the only option. And he's like, and he like a little graphic to like think through a little bit, where he like throws a little army soldier into like his hamster's little trash thing, and just like,
yeah,
here, watch this, pour
he
water
was trying
down.
to figure it out.
He's
see,
down.
Dad, he could come out here.
He's down over here, and just like it's the only place you didn't look. And it's
Right,
just
and then
like,
his dad was like mad at him, but then he was like, "Next time you want to steal from my office, just ask."
Yeah.
And then he walks away. I was like, "What?
right.
He stole from your office. He's not going to ask you. Why would he ask you? You're going to say no."
Very
Right.
much indicating it's still a fresh wound to the family.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is also with Finn Wolfhard's character Richie, with you said it being like ad libbed. Why'd they keep all these ad libs in there? It was like it was like the first time you ever heard a "your mom" joke, and he was like supposed to be comedic the entire time, and it wasn't. Like
He was
ever.
just slinging.
I think I
random
chuckled like
things all the
one time, and then after that, he just said the same thing basically over and over, like, "Oh, your mom. Was she hot? Blah blah blah." Like,
Yeah, the raunchy jokes got.
why
old
did we
fast.
keep letting him? Why did we keep letting him talk?
I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna agree with you there.
I mean, that might be mean, but like, I don't understand the part there. That didn't make any sense to me.
He was the ladies' man of the.
No, he was not. And then you go to after you kind of get introduced to those small introductions, you go to the one kid whose dad is the rabbi at the local synagogue, trying to recite his Torah, I think is what it's called.
Yep.
And failing at it apparently because his dad's like, if you're not gonna do it, go put the book back in my office. And the painting that he's scared of is a really weird painting to have in your office.
Yes,
Right.
that was one of the notes I put.
Straight. I don't know. Is it supposed to be the Virgin Mary? Is it supposed to be just a weird lady painting? I don't understand what the painting is.
You
She had, like,
realize
a flute or something.
they're Jewish guys. Virgin Mary probably wouldn't mean much to them.
Oh.
Well, then what's the painting?
I want to know, because why would you have that on the wall anywhere? Period.
It's the one thing that terrifies me.
Unless you're
I
Rob
know, but
Zombie,
it's a weird
that should
painting
not
for
be
his.
on your wall.
It's a weird painting for his dad to have in his office.
Yeah. Right before that, we kind of get Mike's little horror story. They don't really explain it too much, but so he's like, I believe, just throwing away the garbage in the back of like the meat plant where they are.
No, he
And-
wasn't throwing away garbage. He was dropping off meat.
Yeah, he was dropping off meat
To
to
the
the
local
meat,
butcher.
to
Yeah.
the butcher. Yeah,
And so
dropping
then
off
you kind of get this
lamb or whatever.
pounding. you kind of get this pounding on the door, and you kind of see some scolded hands kind of reaching out the door. Door
Probably one of the
comes.
few scenes that were actually kind of scary in this movie, where you see a bunch of hands and you see Pennywise actually looks scary, and then after that, it's basically not scary whatsoever.
Overly CGI a little bit, where he's like not really scary, more like
Yeah,
okay,
there's
yeah,
a
that's
lot. There was a
graphic.
lot more CGI than I thought there was going to be in this movie.
Yeah, and you kind of get Pennywise just like kind of hanging from the rafters. It kind of felt like too. So like at this point, again, not knowing it, I'm trying to figure out this whole time like what is the, because in most ghost movies or even horror things, like there's an activator. Like what's causing him to come out and what he's going after? Is it just fear? Is that fear?
I mean,
that
that's what
feeds
it
You mean
him?
like
that's
for him to
yeah.
release completely?
He turns it. Yeah, it's fear that he eats. Basically, he eats.
Well,
them,
yeah, and
and they're fear.
And he's on, and well, maybe it's too early to get to it, but he's like kind of on a cycle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They mention it in the movie.
Weird
They talk
timeline
about the cycle. Yeah.
Yeah, we can get to that too. Like that was also in like the timeline weird too.
But yeah, then we go to Ben, the new kid who's kind of just walking down the street. The bullies stop him, and the psycho kid cuts a H into his stomach.
Yeah,
with a
this
knife.
is the point. I was just like, this guy is just a
Yeah, I just wrote absolute psycho kid. And then he like kicks his way away off of a bridge,
which I thought was kind of cool actually. That move was like
kind of rolls down the bridge. They chase him. The psycho kid gets mad because he loses his knife. They keep chasing him. And then they find the what do they call themselves? The losers?
Yeah.
Is that what they call themselves? Just the losers?
Losers,
who are down at the Barrens, I believe is what they called it, the Barrens pipe
they're
system.
down at the Barrens
because that's where they were
Georgie.
Investigating, because that's where he thought Georgie, and that's why they were digging in there.
Yep. So they were gonna go look for Georgie, and then they all kind of end up there at the in the pipes. And then one of the bullies chases after him, and then you get actually like a scene where Pennywise actually gets somebody besides Georgie at this point in time.
I had to laugh though because this guy makes a habit of bringing a lighter and a can of like aerosol paint around.
Right. That's just
cool.
You got to have the knife kid, the pyro kid, and then the one kid just like that's just weird to be there.
Well, and then like he's like going through the pipe, doing like basically a flamethrower to be able to see. Then he sees some zombies, I guess, which everybody else has like a personal attachment to the things that they're seeing, and I didn't understand the zombie part of this personal.
Well, not so much a personal attachment as like a fear more than anything.
Yeah.
And then also though, as he like turns to run away, like he ends up like at a gate
in the wrong way.
He didn't go that far down the pipe.
No.
How did he get lost?
Yeah. Pennywise changed the course.
Only explanation.
He was 15.
Terrible sense of direction.
Calm down. He didn't pass geography yet.
I mean, obviously he's out trying to blowtorch kids, so
I guess. But
I did want to talk about like the research that Ben was doing just before he kind of gets cut up on the bridge, if you would.
Oh yes,
he was like right on track to like discovering every part of like what's going on in town. And so again, he's probably like 13 of like the group, but like he was every part of like falling into it. And then like
can we do a quick aside there though? Because I should have gone back and watched it, but it's because as he's flipping through the book in the library, it zooms in on the tree and there's a head in the tree, and I thought it was Georgie's head, but is that who it was? Like whose head was in that tree?
It was a young kid. I don't know if it was supposed to be.
Was it just a kid?
Yeah, it was just a young kid. I don't know for sure. I was thinking it was Pennywise's head, but maybe not.
It was definitely just a kid. Yeah, it was also funny. I wrote it down because like the librarian was very judgmental.
Yeah,
like
you should be outside.
Like this kid can't gain some knowledge at the library. Like
no, little boys should be outside, right?
Little boys should be outside with their friends. Don't you have any friends? Like holy,
and the kid kind of handles it maturely. He's like, "Can I just have the book?"
Yeah, can I just have the book now?
Well, and then like that's one of like the first couple moments in the movie where you get to see like the iconic little balloon kind of floating through the library too.
Yes.
The red balloon, and then he sees some burnt eggs because it was the Easter explosion at the ironworks factory.
Yeah.
And then you get he goes down there. He gets chased by a headless CGI body. At least it looks CGI to me. I don't. Maybe I'm wrong, but a lot of these scenes were like, why didn't we just use actors with body horror paint and stuff on them? Costumes.
And does Pennywise call him a name?
Yeah, he calls him. He says something.
Calls
He's called him Egg Boy,
Yeah, Egg
which
Boy.
makes no sense either in that situation because he was following the eggs because you were putting the eggs there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, right, because Ben really doesn't have like a. They don't really cover like a big fear of his.
No,
No,
or even
it's
like,
like
or even like problems at
just
home
the
or
fact
anything.
of Terry having that history is like his fear, kind of.
Yeah, and I wanted to get to that later when we kind of get to the ending scene because like the thing where they kind of again we'll get to it, but like the back and forth there kind of threw me off. So yeah, again from there we jump into like where he gets cut into the chest a little bit, and then that grown-up kid, the 15-year-old aerosol boy, he kind of gets lit up, and then right after
and
that
now he's missing, in quotations.
and then they end up at this is the part where they end up at the pharmacy, I guess if you would, and they're trying to find all these things that are like, oh, we need to heal this, we need to fix him up, and they're just holding all of these things they show him to do. And then the girl's there, she's trying to buy her first version of feminine products, so they kind of have an awkward moment, and this got creepy.
Yeah,
she helps them
yes.
out.
With the guy in the
cringy
pharmacy,
scene.
yes,
So
absolutely. There's too much creepy crap.
I'm like,
this
did
in
they
this
have to
movie.
do that?
They-
Like,
This
you
movie
did not have
is-
to do that.
Yeah, because for one, she like starts flirting with the PD, not the
Pharmacist,
physician,
yeah.
pharmacist,
Yeah.
who's probably, I don't know, 50.
Oh,
something.
dude,
I
gotta
really
be.
And she's got to be like,
glasses.
she's like 13.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, you look like Clark Kent." He's like, no.
Yeah, he's like,
And
"Can
then
I see
she
them?"
says, "Can I try them on?"
Yep.
My first answer, regardless of who's asking me, is no.
Yeah.
You can't have my glasses.
Get out of here, kid.
Yeah. And like,
No, you
this is
can't
the
have
part-
them.
Like, again, very inappropriate moment. But like, for her to put on the glasses, him be like, "No, you look like Lois Lane." It's like, okay.
And he said it with that grin, and it was
Oh,
just like,
Very gross.
and it's like, this guy's
Very,
not
very
even an
gross.
important character. Why was this scene necessary?
Yeah, that was just unneeded.
Well,
yeah.
And what doesn't make sense about it too is like they're almost trying to like, I guess, shine a light on her reputation.
Right.
Even though
like
her reputation
you-
isn't true.
Yeah, right.
Well,
But
it's
she's
just
also
like,
still
Whose sake
just
is
a-
this for?
She's also still just a kid.
Yeah. and
yeah.
I wonder if it was kind of like segueing to like the thing with her dad too, but like I didn't want to like overlook into it. But yeah, so she knocks a bunch of stuff off the counter to distract him. The kids go running out. They probably could have got away just fine without that in the first place.
Yeah, it was 1989. It's not like they had cameras and a bunch of.
Well, they
security
also
stuff,
probably didn't
like-
have they didn't have the electrical stuff at the door for the
Yeah,
RFID
exactly.
tags. So.
Basically, what we're saying is that scene was entirely unnecessary, director.
It was.
It
Well,
was-
I mean, I actually wrote down later, like, I want to read the book because I want to know if, like,
That's fair.
how much they took themselves
Yeah.
and how much is actually from the book. 'cause
Well, and
this
even
is-
They had to have
considering
taken a lot of creative liberties here. I
Yeah,
can't imagine what this was in
yeah.
the book.
It seems very strange, I tell you that, but you never know.
So then you kind of get back to the girl. She kind of going back to what's her name?
Beverly.
Oh, Beverly.
Bev, yeah,
Beverly.
Bev. So she kind of goes back home. And I'm not sure if you guys noticed this, but she goes back home. The TV is playing. The same kid's TV show is playing that when the bully goes home to his dad passed out. So that show is constantly playing. So then I was
Yeah,
curious,
the same clown show is playing every time there's a TV playing in somebody's house.
okay,
I
I
caught
wasn't
that
sure.
too. From like
Yeah.
beginning to end, if there was a TV in someone's house, for some reason it was playing like a clown
Oh,
show.
you're right. It was playing that
Even
like,
though it
weird
was the-
kids show.
Even though it was the parents watching most of the time.
Mhm.
But I think
Right.
the parents were asleep most of the time, weren't they? Or no, not
A
what's his
couple
face?
of the scenes.
Eddie's.
Yeah.
You could argue maybe that her dad was drunk. So then this is kind of get the first moment of like understanding her horrors, which is her father. She kind of
Oh.
he comes home,
Yeah,
sees she's got her
bad.
feminine products, and his only response is, "You're still my little girl, right?" And
Forget the
then he-
language, but the note I made was creepy ass monster dad.
Yep,
my
pretty
gosh.
much.
That's
That
fair.
sums it up pretty good.
Yeah,
Sums
and
it up
it's-
pretty good.
Well, then he kind of like grabs her face a little bit, and it gets weird. So then, as he grabs her hair, that just throws her creepy. She goes in the bathroom, chops off all of her hair into the sink drain. And then you kind of just jump forward to the next day with all these kids at the quarry. So the other thing with this too is like all these things are happening, but it always feels like next day it's like a fresh start. Like,
Kind
yeah,
of, yeah.
the weird creepy thing happened yesterday, but that's whatever.
You know, quick
Um,
dad notes. When she was putting her hair down the sink,
Mhm.
all I could think was like, "You dang kid, don't put hair
Same.
down the
Jeepers,
sink."
come on.
I was the same. I was like, that's gonna be such a terrible clog tongue. Dude.
Like you cannot put that long hair down the sink. That is clogging
Oh
it.
The-
my gosh.
Again, terrible moment. Like I agree with every part of
Yeah.
the trauma there, but like the first bit of hair went down, it's like, oh, it's gonna clog.
There's a garbage can right there. Just put it in the garbage can. Come on, kids.
But then the kids are at the quarry, and then for some reason did they not have swim trunks in 1989?
Okay, I want to make a note about the quarry because I don't know if everyone knows facts about
Casey would know
quarries.
about this now. It's like, what was 1980 like? Was it just whitey tidies for everybody?
Yeah,
I could tell you for a fact in 1988, I was running around my whitey tidies outside in the mud.
Yeah, you probably would.
So it was not that uncommon. I mean,
you heard it here first.
Yeah, but to go down to the
it
quarry
tracks.
and swim, wouldn't you have swim trunks on?
okay,
Yeah.
no, this is what I want to get to. Quarries are generally toxic and remain so for quite a while.
Yeah.
When they
I
like
mean,
fill up
you
with
can
water.
call it a quarry, but I mean, like they have places around everywhere where I've ever been where you can just go. They're like man-made holes where they're just digging out rock.
We
There's a
did
difference
it.
like,
between a
call
man-made
it
hole and a quarry.
I know, but is it a quarry or do they just call it the quarry? You know what I
Well,
mean?
I hope to
because
God it wasn't
there's-
a like actual quarry.
Well, like there's the iron mines over in like Duluth area. Like you can go, like people go jumping in those ones too.
Yeah, they probably shouldn't.
Yeah, they're pretty high up. So you kind of get the boys, like you get this weird love triangle feeling, but not really. Between Bill, Ben, and Bev, where they're kind of all just like staring at each other, and then you get all the boys with their first like infatuation of a girl because she's sitting there tanning. So it sets this weird like both the boys are kind of into her.
Yeah, I wrote down weird teenage angst scene.
Yeah, they came out of the water and just like looked at each other, like,
and then they're all just staring at her while she's like sunbathing and
things like that were like so common in the 80s in movies too.
Yeah, it was very much. Yeah.
So then you get another missing sign for the aerosol boy, and then Ben's like, "Yeah, this is like a huge thing for town, you guys. Like, believe it or not, like,
Yeah, 6 times the national average.
6 times the national.
You're telling me
Like,
like
your
at 6 times
disappearances.
nobody's worried about like the FBI is not worried about it.
Like, I'm sorry, yeah, that would that would turn some heads.
The main government isn't worried about it. Like somebody's got to be worried about something.
Hey, why
like,
do so many kids go missing? Oh, bad luck, guys.
Yeah,
Oh,
bad luck in Derry. They all just go missing.
Yeah, and then
every 27 years, huh?
Well, and then you get the fact about the 91 people that signed the indoctrination of the town Derry. The town started as do you remember what it was? It was like
a beaver trapping.
Beaver
trapping village.
And
where
then
Finn Wolfhard makes another dumb joke.
Makes another like
Still
is,
right?
right boys? Yeah.
It's like, what
Such a virgin.
Oh my gosh.
That's what you get.
Like again, back to like the weird fact of like, yeah, the first 91 people that signed this place and the thing, they all disappeared right away. Mm-hmm. How did it continue to be a place?
Yeah, I wrote this down way at the end, but it ties in here too. There's all these kids that keep going missing, and they're not going missing like in big, like they're going missing in like swaths,
chunks.
Why are these parents still letting these kids roam the streets all summer? Why are librarians being like, get out there, where
get out there and get captured, kid.
Where it technically isn't safe.
Mm-hmm.
Kids are going missing in the daylight. I mean, like, what are we doing here?
It makes one wonder what is
and
going on in this town. But they do this creepy scene too as they're zooming in on the it's supposed to be like the picture of the 91.
Yep. And you get
where
Pennywise
is like in there a little bit. Yeah.
But like if that's a historical document and I was looking through it, I'd be like, hey, can somebody explain what this is?
Well, it makes me wonder.
The rest of it makes sense. This really doesn't make sense.
Yeah, how much of it's Pennywise just kind of editing things as they go.
Right.
So
and then
that too, yeah.
You get to Eddie walking down the street. And he gets
before that though, I have a really quick note.
Yeah,
because they go to Ben's house and then he kind of tells them all these things. What is wrong with New Kids on the Block in this movie? Because
were they Linkin Park of 1985?
No, but like Ben tries to like hide it from Beverly, and she's like, "Oh, that's cool, actually." And then he has a poster in his room of New Kids on the Block, and she like hides it for him behind the door. Is there something? Did I miss something?
Well, they're a boy band, so I think it's kind of
Yeah, but also like you're with like the
one of the original
loser squad.
Not allowed to like New Kids on the Block.
Yeah, Casey can't just be out here dancing to 98
well,
degrees.
Let's just put it this way: my wife was obsessed with them when she was younger. So
I mean, yeah, I don't know, whatever. I didn't know there was that much controversy behind liking New Kids on the Block.
I mean, if you said you like Backstreet Boys in the '90s, wouldn't you get picked on a little bit if you were a dude?
Maybe.
Probably. You would.
They also Beverly and him quote it back to each other in this movie, and I feel bad for Ben. Like, this whole time he's like writing poems to Beverly. She's loving the poems. They're quoting to each other, they're sharing these little moments, and she's still just infatuated with Bill. What is it? Does Stephen King just hate the Ben character? Like what? He just gets cut all the time.
Yeah,
I know. And just this silent hero taking everything on the chin.
Yeah. What the heck?
Never letting anything bother him.
So crazy.
Like, no way it's the nerdy Ben kid. So kind of back to, you get kind of Eddie walking down the street. For the record, I thoroughly enjoyed like the comedy of this Eddie character. Of like, he is just like, you can
Yeah.
tell his mom is psycho, but like he is a 65-year-old man. Like,
Yeah,
it's
just
gray water. What are you doing fucking in
germaphobe,
gray water? That is
Well, yeah, because his
poo.
mother's a
Another one?
hypochondriac and like
Yeah.
Yep, hypochondriac, full on. Yeah.
Yeah, and then so like he's kind of taking all of his meds. He gets an alarm going off on his watch, like, oh my gosh, I need to take my meds. And you get his first horror thing, and I believe there's a terminology for like the zombie disease-ridden thing that's
He
chasing
says
him.
He says it later, but it's not apparent when it happens. And I wrote this down too because
he calls it a leper.
It's a leper.
Leper. Yeah, that's what it is.
But it's not even a scary thing. Like, it's a weird CGI zombie looking thing that's supposed to be a leper.
He's
that
like
just
12.
But
It
the
looks like
audience,
something out of
the
Pirates of the
audience
Caribbean.
isn't 12. Your audience is like us. We're the audience. You're supposed to make
Yeah.
this movie scary. Most of the times where this movie was supposed to be scary, it was not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like this was a comedic moment for me. So he kind of gets up against the fence, and then you kind of see Pennywise standing there with like 25 balloons into a massive triangle. For what?
Yeah, I didn't understand why he had so many balloons either.
It's like, what?
I mean, I guess if it was 27, if you counted it as 27, then maybe that was like an Easter egg.
I did have a way to go moment though, because you could tell when he first goes by the house,
21.
right? The house is Pennywise is kind of trying to lure him into the house, and he's apparently is not falling for it until this leprous whatever CGI Pirates of the Caribbean extra comes in behind him, and I could tell. I think it was a way to like kind of ferry him into the house, but then he like ducks over to the side yard, and I'm like, yeah, go kid.
Yeah, so like that's another thing where I was like, what, like, and maybe I'm trying to tie it to like like the supernatural like guideline stuff, right? So like, what's his like line of like, I can grab you versus like I have to get you to come here?
Also, why at this point in time I wrote that I wanted to read the book, because I also don't understand. Because sometimes he looks like he's going to grab somebody and he doesn't, and then sometimes he's just trying to make them scared. So I don't understand. If he can make you hallucinate, then just grab these kids then.
The threshold almost seems to be like within a certain distance of the sewers.
So they do talk about the well, and so the well is the starting point, and then
the well house.
Yeah. The well house. Yeah. Because this well is like in the basement house. But then we kind of jump to doesn't Mike bring it up that that's the house that his parents burned alive in? Or was that a different
No, he says
he tells them that that's when they're all like sharing their visions, and he tells them.
I think
about
if I remember,
I was assuming like back that
Harris Avenue or something is where his house burned down.
Okay. Yeah. I was assuming that this like charcoal house was the one that Mike was in as well. I was like, so this was like a weird connection to me. So I
had to think about that too. Like I had the same thought when he started talking about it. I'm like, is it? It's like, oh wait, no.
Yeah. So right before they all start kind of like telling each other stories, you get the really crazy scene in the bathroom with Beverly where the hair in the sink tries to pull her into the sink. I guess is what it was trying to do, and then you get a Freddy Krueger blood scene, basically. Blood just explodes into the bathroom like a Freddy Krueger movie.
And like that was an homage. So I'm not sure if you caught it. There was a point in the movie where I believe it's Bill. It's either Bill or Eddie at one point. He's like running by a theater.
Yeah, it says Freddy Krueger 5 or something like that.
Yeah, it's not.
Nightmare on Elm Street 5.
Nightmare on Elm Street 5.
I was like, so like, you got to enjoy that. I've heard this before about like the horror genre. Like there's a lot of homage to each other in their movies. So I was like, I thought that was pretty interesting.
And though this is not interesting, I did make a note. Batman and Lethal Weapon 2 were playing at the theater the first time they drive by it.
Nice.
But that's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah. So then they're right after that blood scene, she like calls them to come to the house because she wants to see if she's crazy because her dad can't see the blood, and they like just accept helping cleaning this blood up that no one else can see.
That I could not sit with. I'm like, what? Okay, the blood is not real.
It's not
they
real.
can see it obviously. And what are they cleaning?
You get this weird like montage where they put like more lighthearted music behind them cleaning up a bathroom full of blood.
Yeah.
I was like, who's this scene for?
Yeah. So like just before that, I did want to cover like Bill's little moment of seeing Pennywise where you get a real creepy version of Georgie. So he's definitely
in the basement?
Yeah, Georgie in the basement. But like when you first zoom in on him, is he drawing Bev? So there's a little drawing on the bed. And it's
he was drawing
Bev. So like there is an interest there too. So like that's back to like there's just like this weird triangle here that really never like turns into anything. So it's like, what's the point of constantly bringing it up? But yeah, you kind of get his version of Georgie, and then he's like apologizing about the boat and everything.
Yeah,
And
and
then
this is where like this is also where like Pennywise tries to grab him in the basement. So
Yeah,
can
so
he
that-
grab
again,
them? Can he
that's what I'm
grab them
saying.
outside of the well or not?
does he need to be close to the water? Does he need to be in the water?
Or
Like,
is
why
it
does he
just
stop?
is it just fear? I don't know. He's trying
Like,
to like set up the
man.
fear for later. What if Bill just decides he doesn't want to go find him?
Right, maybe
Yeah,
it's like the chase of like build up of like, oh, he's getting more afraid.
That-
He
that's
got to
all I
the
could
fourth step.
think.
I
Was it
can't
like-
get him. How dare you?
Yeah, if he just like builds up the fear, maybe that's what he's seeking. Is just that.
Random moment, it made me think of that Family Guy scene with Aquaman, where like this dude is like beating somebody up on the beach, and Aquaman's standing in the water, like, hey, you won't do that over here, over the water. Come on, you won't do it.
Yeah.
And then to your point, we get Bev just like smoking on the fire escape, and she tells all the boys like come upstairs, like, hey, let's just clean up all this blood everywhere that's like not real, but like it's real.
Yeah, Bill's like, we can't leave this here. We got to clean it up. Like, what do you mean? No one else can see it.
And they have to do it before her dad gets home because her dad wouldn't be happy with
Yeah,
how
He
boys
doesn't
are.
like
with
her
having-
around boys.
With having boys around, yep. And then they're going down the street and they see Mike's bike and the car with all the bullies.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, we definitely have to
Henry.
go help him. Yeah,
Henry
that's
Bowers.
Henry Bowers is the bad guy.
Yeah.
And then they're like pushing him into the meat that he was carrying and telling him
Yeah.
to eat it, and like these are crazy bullies, like absolutely crazy.
Well, you could
Yeah.
tell there were moments where like the henchmen even were like,
Yeah,
Whoa, dude,
this is
like-
too much. Yeah,
I can't do this.
yeah, and then
Mhm.
But they go along with it anyway.
And then Bowers
they
picks
get
up a
into
rock like he's gonna brain Mike, and then he gets hit by a rock thrown by Beverly, and then we have a good old fashioned rock fight.
But it's
this
CGI.
scene was
Or like it's
Yeah,
green
I
screen.
know.
yes, there was a
I
ton
know.
of CGI.
It's
and this scene was
100%
weird.
CGI.
It was like weird, awkward, cringy, like
Yeah.
the music in the background. Like I
Mhm.
didn't understand. It took you out of the movie.
It did.
Like,
it
this
was like,
scene
yeah,
just
it
I was like,
did.
this is
Took
no
you right
horror
out of the movie.
anymore.
Like,
Well, and then there's like with the CGI, there's one point where one of the bullies yells like, "I'll get
F
you,
you!"
I'll get you, B word or whatever," where you think he's gonna get cracked in the face,
Yep.
and it literally just like skims the side of his head barely.
Yeah.
yeah, well,
I
it
was
like
like-
hits his hand, doesn't
I
it?
was like,
And,
"Where's
kinda-
the pay? Where's the payoff here? What are we doing? Like that's
Right.
ridiculous."
That's what you get with CGI rocks.
CGI rocks is just crazy.
And then you get more of the one-liners from Mr. Richie.
Yeah, his one-liners. I don't know why they
So
didn't. why
whoever
they didn't
edited this
stop 'em.
movie, there's two scenes you can take out: pharmacy scene and rock throwing scene.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Your
For
movie would be just as
sure.
good without it.
Yeah. And just tell Richie to just yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because as they're going down the street, because Richie hasn't had a vision yet either. He says something along the lines of like, "Is the only it's just virgins who can't see this or something like, or who can see it? Is that why I haven't seen it yet? You like, come on, grow up."
Yeah, so like that's again back to the original. I'm wondering, like, is there that much like, is it just a new age thing where like, okay, we need comedic or relief in this movie just to like
I feel
level
like
the
that's from
emotions
what I
for
remember the
everybody?
original. Well, for one, in the original, I don't think the youth part was as long.
No, they didn't
And
have as long
there
as the
definitely
youth
wasn't like the raunchy humor. It was a little more kind of. I
Yeah.
would equate it to like Stand by Me. You know, that kind of 80s Stephen
part.
King.
I find
just-
it very hard to believe that Stephen King
King.
was putting that much your mom jokes and stuff into his book.
No.
He's like, this
I
movie.
I find that very hard to believe.
We've been scaring everybody too much. We need to ease the blow a little bit.
Yeah.
So then you
So
kind of get them outside.
they win the rock fight at least.
Yeah. And then they kind of jumped outside
Dumb
the
scene.
school and talking about everything. They have a new friend now. Like, hey, Mike, you're part of the losers gang. And then there's like down town hall kind of area, and there's like 6 missing posters that's like stacked up like on top of it. Like, oh, they're just forgetting about the last chick. Again,
Yep.
back to like, is nobody concerned? Because it feels like none of the adults care. Like everybody's just disappearing at an amazing rate.
No, it almost seems like they have like a printing press on the ready for
Yep.
like missing
Ah,
kids.
missing kids.
Because
This one's
they're like the
missing.
same exact format every
Yep.
time.
Yeah. They're like,
Yeah, so, like,
it's
they-
July
Yeah.
5th, 27 years. It's that time again, guys.
It's that time.
Mhm.
Yeah. So they all start telling their stories. I saw them in the synagogue. I saw them in the bathroom. I saw the hands of my parents.
Yeah.
And then when he's talking about the one in the synagogue, that's another one where that Richie's like, is she hot? Like
Yeah,
the
like,
picture?
No,
It's like,
Richie.
no, Richie,
No.
she's not. But it's also like, why did they give him so much freedom to just say these
I
things?
don't know.
Just like, what is this? I'm like, is this kid Stifler?
Basically,
Yeah,
he basically
that's a good way of
is,
putting
yeah.
it. Yeah,
He basically is Stifler.
he's a 12-year-old Stifler.
Got it. This movie's a prequel. Ah, that's
Yep.
where I was missing out. So then you kind of get back to the Bill's house and you get the sewers and everything, and they kind of line everything up. And then out of nowhere, Pennywise just kind of takes over the projector that they're kind of going on, and he does the same thing that he did in the book, where he kind of like takes over and zooms in over what I believe is Bill's mom. Like her hair was in her face in one of the photos.
Yeah, her hair
Mhm.
was in her face, and then it turned it,
It
which
pulls back.
wasn't even like a good reveal.
No, it's
No,
Like it
it
was,
was
like once again, like the CGI was just like not great. It wasn't like a but it was like a pop out weird
Mhm.
CGI picture of Pennywise smiling.
I think it was too how am I gonna put it was too upfront. You would expected a
it
little
took
more
too long.
mystery.
Yeah,
it took too
right.
long.
It was like hair, boom, Pennywise. There was no hair in
Yeah.
front of his face. There was no nothing. It was like all of a sudden there's Pennywise, and then
Yeah.
he becomes humongous out of the screen after they like kick it over trying to stop it. Which like just unplug it. I mean, if you want to try to stop something.
I feel like the reveal would have been a little bit more of like a surprise for the kids kind of thing, is if the face was just there immediately instead of just like easing into it. So like interesting, like kind of sticking to like again with the book where he's like, no, I'm gonna keep on replaying it and just like, guess what, I'm here. And
The
then you
book
kind
at
of
least had a little more intrigue and
Yeah, a little bit.
yeah.
creepiness to it.
So then he disappears and he comes flying out. He goes right into Bev's face and tries to grab her. Again, back to like what are my guidelines here? Like
Where's
when
the boundaries?
Yeah,
Yeah.
when is
Yeah.
is it just like constantly increasing the fear and like that's what's feeding him and like
It
maybe
might
I'm
be.
prepping you kind of thing of like I want you to be as afraid as possible before I take you.
But then you have to think about the first scene back with Georgie, right? Where like he
Yeah.
gets his arm bitten off,
Right, he gets
presumably,
his arm bitten off,
and
yeah.
pulled down into the sewer drain.
And then just like
Yeah.
opening the garage door stops it. So did the light stop it? Was it because the projector wasn't working because the light? I don't understand where we're at with
It
this.
Well,
just
and
kinda
like again,
stopped,
back
yeah.
to the pill popping kid. That's in the middle of daylight. He doesn't grab him, but like
Yeah, he just like scares him. And that was another thing I like. This movie's supposed to be scary. I guess if you don't like clowns, it could be scary. But every scene with like Pennywise is just him pretending to be somebody else whispering in the dark, and then him laughing like a clown, and then him just yelling and chasing somebody. That is not a scary trope, and he does it like 6 times.
I would say the only
They
scene,
never
in my
change that
opinion,
version of what he's doing.
that gets like borderline creepy would be maybe the at the synagogue.
Mhm.
The weird distorted face painting woman. That was about it though.
I know, but that was so CGI. It was crazy.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like unbelievable amounts of it.
To your point though, correct. It's like the scenes with Pennywise.
They're
like,
all the
his
same.
face, I first seen, right? Pennywise, like the guy himself has a pretty creepy face, like
Yeah,
the
he's got
actor.
a
But
creepy
after
face,
that,
and
it just
ooh,
kind of
his
gets
eyes
old.
move different directions. Oh, boy.
Pennywise's hunting tactics is described as salting the meat. The more satisfying, more fulfilling the meal, the more terror that is within it.
Yeah, unless they're stop being scared of him because he never grabs them ever.
Right. At a certain point, like, dude, would you stop? We just quit doing that. You're just being weird
Yeah.
at this point.
just bat him away.
Right. So after the scene in the garage, they decide they're going to go to the house to
The well
go,
house.
go take him. Yeah, go to the well house. Go take on the bad guy in his home, basically, which I thought was like a brave decision for a bunch of kids to make, I guess, if they're scared to death of this clown. But he's still holding on hope that Georgie's alive.
Mm-hmm.
And then so they go in the house, and then I think it's Eddie and Bill and Richie all go into the house.
They all go in.
Yeah, no, only
What
3 of them go in right away.
And I think it was like this and like
Oh, yeah.
this and kind of going towards the end of the movie. Like they delve too deeply into like your typical horror tropes. Like when Eddie gets separated from Bill and Richie, it's like I'm too like at this point I'm just too exhausted from this movie to say like why are you doing that, Eddie?
Yeah,
like, why did you stay behind? Obviously the voice is Pennywise. Like
right.
There doesn't seem to be any sort of like siren quality to the voices when they're beckoning the kids.
No, and it's not even like I mean, like I had like subtitles on and it just said like random boy talking, whispering. So it wasn't even like was it voice? I didn't even realize if it was voices that they knew of which voices it was. Just disembodied.
Well, I think at this point
whispering.
it was actually just Pennywise. It was like actually Pennywise's voice, and it's like
so
it's just a dumb horror trope.
Yeah, in this house, Richie finally gets some scare. There's a missing poster,
which is kind of dumb.
And it said July 4th, so it was the 4th of July, and they never brought it up in the movie ever, except for on that poster.
Yeah,
it says July 4th on that movie. He's like, that's the date, and this is me, and that's this is. He's like, it's obviously not real. You're standing right here. He's like, do I go missing later? Like, and then Richie ends up getting trapped in a room full of clown dolls.
Well, then they see a girl, and I believe that's probably the classmate where the mom was standing outside the school early in the movie, like waiting.
Yeah,
She
it
kept on
was
standing outside the school,
Betty
hoping,
Ripson.
hoping that her daughter keeps on walking out. So then they see her, and like again, it's a terror tactic to be like, you guys should come look at this. And then you get is it Eddie, the pill popper?
So and
Eddie.
they
Eddie's sitting there, can't get his inhaler working, and like that's how they kind of separated him.
Yeah, they get separated. The doors, horror movie tropes, all the doors start shutting.
Yes. Oh, that was the other note I made. Is like the door thing. It became annoying.
Yeah, like this door shut, and then Richie gets in this room. That door shuts. What about this door? And then for some reason,
no, all these doors shut. No.
Eddie falls down 2 stories onto a table, and you don't really know what happens to him right away. Richie gets his little vision with Pennywise scaring him with a bunch of clowns in a room where he doesn't even seem that scared. I don't know if it's like an acting thing or Richie's character, but he really doesn't. He's supposed to be scared of clowns, but in that room, he really doesn't seem that scared because he like taps on the clown, and he's like, "Oh, it's a doll."
No.
And then it's like it's a missing body of himself too, but it's like a doll version of himself missing, and it says "found" on the casket and everything. And instead of like being terrified, he's like, "Ew."
He's like, "Ew," yeah. And then Pennywise comes out.
Yeah, he shuts it, and Pennywise comes flying out. And then you kind of get the 3 doors thing, but just before that, I believe they have Eddie's character like pop out of the mattress and do the whole like want to play the loogie game thing.
I'm like, Eddie's head pops out and just like want to play the Lou game and like spits what's supposed to be
black
like acid,
goop.
I guess. Is it real?
Right.
Would it have actually done anything? It was like sizzling on the floorboards, but like Pennywise is just making people hallucinate, so who knows? Honestly, the 3-door thing, if that's in the book, I don't know what Stephen King is doing.
Because I have to think it wasn't.
That's a ridiculous scene.
And those kids let me down because they're supposed to be somewhat intelligent kids.
Yeah, don't go for the one that says not scary.
Think. Yeah, obviously,
because it says it's like definitely not scary, and
very scary,
very scary.
Very scary. I was like,
not scary at all.
At that point, I was kind of checked out of the movie, honestly.
Yeah, it's like you go for the very scary.
That
of course,
scene right there with those doors checked me out of the movie.
Yeah, and then the girl's like, "What does she say?" She's like, "Can't feel her feet" or something like that.
I don't even know.
Have you seen my shoe?
Have you?
She says like, "Have you seen my shoe?" or something like that.
Yeah, because they found her shoe in the sewer.
Oh yeah. And then like again, back to Richie's like, I don't know if this is another one-nighter moment. It's like, where were her legs? Oh my god! They shut the door again. It's like it's not real. It's not real.
And then this is the point where I don't understand Pennywise either, because if this is as easy as it is, he's not scary at all. Because Bill goes, "It's not real. We know it's not real. He's just doing this to scare us." And then they open the door and it's perfectly fine. And Pennywise realizes that they're not scared upstairs. And he starts to lose his powers. I don't know if you guys, he like his voice cracks.
Well, he kind of like snaps and like looks back and like yells.
as he's like attacking Eddie, whose arm is like broken, hanging there.
Yeah.
But he's like, he like snaps back and he's like almost like they're not scared of me anymore type of thing. Is like, are you supposed to be some super powerful, supernatural being? And this all Bill had to say was, "It's not real."
Again, comes back to those like unclear boundaries, unclear powers, unclear, biology, I guess.
Yeah, I would say him coming out of the fridge or the freezer or whatever it was, like, weird legged, whatever you want to call it, was a little bit creepy. I guess I'll give him that. Harken back to like The Exorcist,
But I think that also was kind of a trend of the time, the distorted, contortionist body, and
and then so he's gonna try to bite Eddie, and this is where like Pennywise's voice cracks. He's like, "Bill, you're not scared of me anymore.
Not scary enough. Not scary enough."
Yeah, not scary enough. And then he kind of goes after somebody, and Beverly slams a iron stake through his head, like a fence post.
Yeah, like he can actually physically be hurt.
And this is where I started feeling bad for Ben, because he's kind of like whipping around and he somehow catches Ben in the stomach with the iron post.
One thing that doesn't get explained about the scene too, right, is when she stabs him, like his blood flows out and it like kind of floats up. It doesn't just fall. I don't know what that was about. I think
that was really weird too. And then like it started
it.
like sucking in more of his head because it went through like his eye, and then all of a sudden it was like in the middle of his head. But it seemed like it was hurting him because he was like retreating, as they were like all standing there. But
and of course, as he retreats,
Yeah.
I feel sorry for poor Ben as he retreats because Ben
Yeah, that's why I said he
gets slashed
catches
to
it,
the stomach by
catches
the
it
end
in
of
the
the bar.
stomach.
Yeah.
Ben just can't catch any breaks, can't get the girl,
No.
can't gets cut all the time, just bleeding out. His shirt's a mess.
Spending his summers in libraries, getting shit on by the librarian.
And then they're
Yeah.
trying to get Eddie, and I didn't understand this part because these kids are way too young. He's like, I have to pop your arm back in.
But it wasn't a joint.
Yeah, it was like
broken.
his arm was like in half. He's like, I gotta pop it back in, and they crack it back in. But like these
You
kids
don't
all of a sudden
pop a
have the
broken arm
knowledge of
back
a
in.
doctor.
The doctor, yeah.
Well, we gotta reset your bone right here and then. You're kids.
Yeah. And then they was like doing that. Bill just kind of like turns, looks like we can't let him get away. And then like this is where they find the actual sewer where Pennywise is hiding.
Yep, they found the entrance to the well. Yep.
Yeah, and then they go outside, and they just kind of Bill goes the whole like, all right, well now we know for next time, guys, when we come back, like this is how we fight him. And everybody's like, what?
Are you nuts?
No. Yeah, and then you get the scene with Eddie's mom being like, "You're bad people. You did this to him."
You're terrible. You can never see him again.
Yeah, and then like, oh, I heard the rumors about you, girly. Where another weird thing where parents are believing rumors of children.
Yeah, and then you gotta get like this sad montage. You got everybody like back in their moment kind of thing. There's still blood on the floor in Bev's basement.
Well, there's like
Bill's
one
just
drop
sitting
of
on-
blood for some reason when Bev's in like the bath or whatever.
Yeah, and then you kind of get backed in with the bully guy, Mr. Henry Powers. He's at home shooting at little bottles, and then he asks one of his friends to grab a cat and like put it.
Yeah,
up
he's
there.
like, "There's our next target."
And he's like, "Stand there, hold it, I'll shoot it."
Hold the cat while I shoot it.
And like
I'm
again,
sorry.
this kid doesn't do much other than like the rock fight. The most time he's just there.
We're talking about the kind of henchman kid.
Yeah, the other bully. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And again, how is he not just noping out of there?
Oh
I
my
mean,
gosh.
I would.
he already knows the kid's a psycho.
They
I mean,
gave
there's
him
been a
such a-
couple
I-
scenes where he looks at the kid like he's a psycho.
So
and now
I,
the kid has a gun.
I found his name. They gave him very much a henchman kid name, Belch Huggins.
Belch.
He never says that. He never says his
BELCH.
name one time.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then
I
you
had to
get
look it
then
up.
you find out, why Bowers is probably a psycho because his dad comes up, asks him what he's doing. He's like, "Oh, I'm cleaning your gun." He's like, "Oh yeah, I cleaning it." Well, he's like, obviously shooting it. Grabs the gun and then shoots all around his kid. Like, you think your son's gonna be a crazy person if that's what you're doing to him.
And then he goes to his friends. He's just like, "See, guys, he's just a paper of a man. He's not that tough kind of."
Yeah,
thing.
he
It's
says,
like,
watch how a paper man crumbles or something like that. Like, this kid is like 15, dude. Do something so he's not a psychopath.
really, yeah. So you get back to Eddie at the pharmacy picking up all of his medication, and then the girl that I believe this was the girl that dumped like the garbage water on Bev in the beginning. I believe it's the same one.
I think
though.
so. She looked the same, yeah.
Yeah, she was just kind of sitting there, and he's grabbing his med. She's like, "Those are all placebos. You know that, right?" He's like, "What does that mean?" She's like, "All your medication is fake. It's not real." And he's just like,
Which
okay.
big props to her, but then she writes loser on his cast. So
Yeah, I'll sign your cast for you.
also a
and
bully, but kind of helping him out a little bit.
Yeah, so kind of weird to like step
So
away
many bullies.
for like 10 minutes and then you go back to Henry again, just like disassociated sitting in front of his vehicle. And then he sees the balloon hanging from the mailbox and it's got his knife in it that he lost in the forest.
Yeah, this part I did not understand whatever because he like walks in a trance to the mailbox because he sees a balloon, opens it, has his knife, and then decides that he's gonna probably go kill his dad. Like this part of it
walks
was
inside.
too much of a Anakin Skywalker turning to the dark side for me.
And he's
Way too fast in the 2 minutes that you have Henry Bowers on screen, actually.
And then
I didn't understand Pennywise's motivation to get him to do that. Because what does that do for Pennywise?
Right, so Pennywise starts to use him for a fearmonger kind of thing instead of like trying to kill him. So back to the TV show. The TV show comes into play again. Dad's passed out. Pennywise takes over the TV, and they're all singing, "Kill him, kill him, kill him, do it." Very gruesomely, like just kind of forewarning. But he puts his knife to his neck, pops the knife open, and just holds him there as he bleeds out, which I'm assuming is jugular.
Yeah.
And then Pennywise tells him to kill them all. So
kill
now
them
he
all,
needs,
yeah.
Yeah, so
But
he needs help to kill the kids.
How would he know who Pennywise is talking about?
Right. Yeah.
There no previous interactions where he knew that Pennywise would be talking about the kids. Why would he go after the kids?
Judging by how psychotic Henry is, I'm pretty sure he didn't need a little neon sign telling him. I just kind of got the impression that he was probably already in that mindset.
Yeah. So after you
And
get
Pennywise
that
just kind of pushed him over the
Weird
edge.
moment.
right,
Yeah.
you get that dad killing. You go to Beverly's house where she's trying to leave, and the door has a padlock on it. And her
Mhm.
dad is like, "What have you been doing, running around with all these boys?"
Yep.
And does that same creepy thing where he's like, "Aren't you my little girl?" And she says no.
Yeah.
And then you get
Freaks out.
Finally screams
then you
at
get
him.
very creepy where you realize like the relationship is very
Very physical
unsanitary.
and aggressive.
Yeah.
She goes
And
to
then
hide in the
she yeah,
bathroom of all choices.
right, she kicks him in the nuts as he's trying to like attack her, and then kicks him in the head, which I was like, yeah, keep going. And she runs to the bathroom, and then he opens the bathroom
the
like
curtain.
shower curtain, and she fricking brains him with that
Hmm.
toilet with the toilet lid. But I wrote
That's what
down
that
I wrote
was.
down keep hitting him.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Good thing she has a porcelain one and not a plastic one, not like we do now.
Yeah, I was like, keep going, please. And yeah,
Yeah.
but she doesn't. I don't know if he was audible, but in the subtitles it says that he was still mumbling, so I don't think he actually died. In the
Really?
I didn't
subtitles,
have subtitles on.
in the subtitles
Unless it's
in the subtitles it kept saying groaning, like he was groaning. So I don't know if he actually, but there was a lot of blood
okay.
coming out of his head, so it was very weird.
The
Well,
only
he
thing I can like
definitely
maybe
did
think is like
because
a gurgling noise, maybe.
Bill ends up coming to the house later and discovering it. Remember?
Right, but it says
Body.
the same thing when Bill comes back too. That he's
Oh, it says
groaning. That
groaning?
he's groaning. Yeah. Don't
Huh.
that could just be I don't know, subtitles
Or
misinterpreting
maybe it's like
something.
a Pennywise
It was
thing.
AI
where it's
subtitles.
meant to be
and
this
they're
like
just like
faint
he's
groaning in the
definitely
background.
breathing.
Yeah, they're like, we don't want to show you that this guy actually died from this hit. We're gonna tell you that he's still alive. I thought that was weird too, because like there was like a puddle of blood around his head. Like he took a crack. Like most people
Deaf
don't probably
just
walk
got a
away
different
from
version of the movie than we did.
Maybe.
So they gotta get Bill. He's kind of out on the streets and he's kind of checking his watch, like trying to figure out. I'm guessing him and Bev were meeting up for something. He checks the house. He finds the dad kind of knocked out unconscious. But just before that, Bev gets grabbed by Pennywise, like aggressively. Again, back to like, what are my borderlines here? Because he grabbed her in pure daylight.
Yeah, he
and
grabbed her.
kidnapped
Yeah,
She
he
was
grabbed her.
inside her
Yeah,
house.
and so
Yeah.
he grabbed her and
And
picked her
he
up.
writes on the ceiling. I don't remember what he wrote specifically on the ceiling. Something around lines like,
if you try, you die.
Yeah, you try.
okay,
You die.
that's what it was.
You try, you die, which is weird. There was like no other reference to that, so I don't know where like what he was like. I don't know, just trying to warn them away. But it was also like we never said anything about try and die in this movie before this.
Mhm.
It's a weird line.
I didn't understand what they was getting at either.
Yeah.
So then,
and then he
like,
kinda-
everybody kind
Yeah.
of gets together. After this, they all like, yeah, we gotta go get Beverly. Kind of get everybody going. And he finally confronts his mom, but he yells, "They're gazebos."
Yeah. He can't
He's like,
pronounce
it's all
placebo.
BS. They're gazebos.
They're gazebo. Oh, I did like that part.
And then she
which
lets
was
him
which
just
was
like
actually
storm out
like
of the
a
house.
which was like an actual funny part, I guess. You know,
I had to make note though that I mean throughout this movie they pretty much made all the parents just monsters in their own little way.
Or just
Yeah,
like
I mean,
disassociated.
varying degrees, obviously.
yeah, monsters
but-
are not even existent in their kids' lives at all. Because I don't think you never see Richie's parents
And
ever.
when-
You never see Ben's
No, and
parents.
the only time you see them, they're basically like, well, obviously, but Bill's not monster, maybe, but
No, yeah.
again,
But you only see his dad.
they
You never see
never
like his
sh-
mom or anything. Yeah,
they never show the parents in like a good light.
no, definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely
and then
not
like
any
of all the
lights.
friends, why the Stanley is just kind of like he feels the most distance of all the group. I felt like when they're kind of going through most of it. He's the only one that didn't really have a whole lot going on. Like obviously like between Bill and Ben, like there's that weird love thing. Richie's kind of got like his one riffs all the time. Eddie's got his like drugs thing, and then it's just like there's Stan.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
they
Stanley
kinda
was
go-
a little bit of an outcast of the group. I could
Well,
see
like
that
the reason
too.
why I bring that up is like, so then we get to this moment where like they get back to the house of like they're all loaded up, like they've got the bolt gun, they've got everything, they've got some sticks, like they're going for it, and then you get Wyatt just standing at the door, like, or excuse me, Stanley just being like, I don't know if we can go in here, guys. I don't think we can do this. Like, no, if we all stay together, we can do this. Which
Right.
again, there's so many moments throughout this where Bill's like, you guys stay here. I'm gonna go after him by myself. Like, you don't believe what you're saying, and you leave people alone. all
bravest
the
kid in
time.
America, dude. But yeah, so they start going down the tunnel. They found this part I thought was weird. So they see a rope. Did they tie the knots in the rope to make it easy to climb? Like, were they?
Yeah.
Are we to understand that they're Boy Scouts?
Yeah, because when they found the rope was just like kind of tied up in a loop.
It's 1985.
I thought the
They
rope
didn't
was
have
just sitting there,
iPads.
but I mean, there's knots all the way down the rope. So I mean, just
Yeah. And
Well, it's
they
smart.
all basically get on the rope at the same time too. There's at least 2 or 3 kids at one time on the rope in the beginning of
It
it.
was a really thick rope. I mean, that's like
That
a
was
rope.
a heavy
That's like
duty
a,
rope,
that's like a,
man. That's like
it's like a rope
again,
you could tow a vehicle with.
Okay,
yeah, that
but
thing's
also
carrying a couple thousand pounds at least.
Yeah,
ropes,
it was
yes,
carrying
but also
quite a
like
bit.
back to your knot tying skills. Like I don't know if I trust that.
Well, yeah, I know, but that's
Well-
that's what I mean, because they made like a rope ladder basically, where it was
Yeah,
like
yeah,
knots,
they
then knots,
notched
then,
them.
like
Yep.
perfectly in line. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah.
You can be smart, but what are we doing
Mhm.
here?
I mean, they finally do some smart kid stuff as they should have done all along. So at least give them credit.
Yeah,
And then
Nice.
they don't even go to the bottom of the well. Like where they find it is like
It's partway.
halfway down the well. Yeah, on the side of the well. And they all
And as
kind
the
of
kids are scaling down.
Yeah.
Oh,
You'll go ahead.
go ahead. No, I was gonna say as the kids are scaling down, Mr. Psycho decides to show up and hit old Mike over the head, and proceeds to steal the what do you call
Bolt
it? The
gun.
piston gun. I don't even know what you want to.
Yeah.
I don't even know
bolt
what you
gun.
call it. Essentially, well, you get the impression he's going to try and kill Mike.
Yep.
But Mike ends up kind of fended off halfway through. This scene is kind of crazy because after a little tussle, Mike ends up charging at him and pushing him down the well, and the kid just flies down.
Yes.
I
And
know, and
obviously, it's like I do not feel sorry for this kid because he's
No.
kind of a psycho. Well, maybe a little bit, but
I
he
mean,
was a
his
psycho.
dad kind of made him that way.
Yeah, but he was
also,
going
like,
to try to kill Mike. So it's
yeah,
like,
because
hey.
he looks over the edge of the well at one point and has blood all over his face, and he's just like, ha 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 ha, like he's completely
That
like
was
like psychotic break moment basically.
And I feel like they almost tried to get that like Pennywise face on him, like that big wide grin.
right,
Yeah.
and like
Almost like
he's just
his
an
influence
agent
or
of
something.
Pennywise at this point, or what?
Yeah, so
what's
then
that?
yeah, Mike kicks him down there. It's kind of a silly scene where he falls down though, because it's either very CGI or it was definitely a dummy, because it was just
And
like
it did,
flop,
Oh, it
flop,
was
flop,
CGI,
flop.
100%.
yeah, and then like it doesn't even like click to Mike. He's just like, yeah, I'm good, guys. All right, let's go.
He's like, I'm good, guys, and then he grabs his bolt gun to reload it and puts it on the
Drops
like
the
puts it
canisters.
way too far out. You can tell that it's on the edge. Like
Yeah.
you're like, oh, he's gonna drop these, and then yeah, he gets one CO2 canister out of there and drops it.
Yep.
Drops the rest of them.
And then you kind of get Bev, kind of get highlight to where she is in the dungeon with Pennywise, and then you kind of get his little like what he is. He's the dancing clown, and this was a really weird like. Was it supposed to be like traumatizing kind of thing? Where he's
I
just
think it was
kinda
probably
sitting there
supposed to be scary where he's
What's
dancing,
the
but also
supposed to be?
it looks CGI to me. It could have
Yeah.
been real,
Yeah,
but
very
like
much so.
with everything around it, it looks like everything looks like CGI, which is where I just like this isn't scary if everything's CGI.
Right.
It also wasn't a scary scene in general.
No,
I
it
feel
really
like
wasn't.
they kind of he almost became less scary as the movie went on, and maybe that was intentional, maybe not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
again,
feel like
I
he
think the
was
beginning scenes were.
and then she
Yes.
tells him that she's not scared of him, and he's like smells her, and he's like, "Oh, you will be." And then he
And he,
like
like,
opens his big
whole
face.
face.
His whole
Yeah.
face shows three
puts her into
lights.
some sort of hypnic trance.
Yeah,
Mhm.
where she's
So
just
there's
like
something-
floating in
so-
the sky.
So I actually looked this up too. Like I looked up what the lights actually are. So we'll come back to that. So then you kind of get.
Well, we don't have to come back to it. What are the lights? Tell us.
It's a description of Pennywise, so I don't want to get to that too far yet.
Oh.
So we'll come back to it. Getting way too far ahead of yourself. So
No.
the kids make their way into the basement, but they realize that Wyatt was it Wyatt?
Stanley.
Or yeah, Wyatt is his true name. Sorry, Stanley's down there, and he's like getting like fit up by the painting girl. So this was another confusing thing of like, why is this thing afraid of the kids? Is it because the entity in which that Stanley is afraid of is only powerful if it's just Stanley there? So if the other kids are there, they're not afraid of that thing, so it's not powerful.
But I think I also didn't understand what it was doing. Was it eating?
It was like
the
sucking on
sphere?
his face.
Yeah,
Yeah,
was
because
it
like when it
sucking on
gets
his
down,
sphere?
yeah.
Just another unclear, kind of because I go back to the first scene of Georgie where he bites his arm off, and
Yeah.
now this kid,
Yeah.
he has him pinned in the sewer.
It's just like
Yes.
a leech.
terrified,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
that's all you do.
Yeah.
Right. And then,
then
Stanley kind of wakes up and he just starts freaking out like, you guys are my friends,
You
blah, blah.
said you weren't gonna leave me.
And they all just kind of like hug him, and I guess he just forgets about it. I don't know.
Yeah, and then Bill sees Georgie, like a version of Georgie, and he's like, "Oh yeah," takes off running. Like again, this
Just as they got done talking about, hey, we got to stick together.
Yeah, we gotta-
If we
I-
stick together, we're
I
gonna be
wrote
fine.
that. Yeah, I wrote that down. These kids are the dumbest kids ever. They just keep running.
Yeah.
They're like, we gotta stick together. Let's go this way. Let's let the door close behind everybody.
Got the memory of a goldfish.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then so that which leads him to Pennywise's dungeon. I don't know what else to call it than a massive dungeon. You get
Yeah,
Bev
it's all right.
floating in the air, and him just sitting there, he's like, "Oh my god, like I'm gonna get you down, I'm gonna get you down." He sees Georgie, he's like, "I'll come back for you." So he doesn't care about anybody else. Like he's 100%. This is Georgie for him.
Yeah,
Like,
I'll
he's
come
not
back for you, Bev. This is where I was like, why doesn't Ben get his time in light here? Because
he at all.
Billy doesn't give a crap, dude.
Yeah, he doesn't. So
And
then
Bill,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, Bill approaches Georgie. We'll call it the fake version of George.
Yep.
I almost understood the motivation behind this scene where, he says to Beverly, "I'll come back for you," and they try to paint it as this like goodbye to Georgie almost because he
Yeah.
never got to see Georgie when he went missing. However, it's clear from the fact that after he's done talking with him, puts a bolt gun to his head and fires.
Yep.
He knew the entire time it wasn't Georgie.
No,
Yes.
so it was the boat, because he doesn't call the boat a girl, because that's the point where he gets him, because he tells them, "No, we call boats girls," and that's when he dumps him.
No, but he knew. He clearly knew it wasn't Georgie.
I think he clearly knew. He wouldn't start a goodbye
Think
just
so?
based off of the boat. I don't think so.
No, yeah, he
Yeah.
clearly knew he was chasing Pennywise or some.
It was like
illusion
it
of
was like
Pennywise.
it was like the acceptance of death speech, basically. Is
Yeah,
how I
so
read
I
it.
was
That's
at-
how I saw
so-
it
It
too.
did make sense to me because, like, you're talking to Pennywise, so it's not really any sort of
No,
actual
it really
payoff.
Yeah.
isn't.
I will say, mentally, into the scene, this kind of had me for a little bit, because seeing the kids floating in the air, I was at a point of like not understanding if they were dead or not. So I was like, okay, maybe he's just taking them and then he keeps them alive. Again, back to the 27 years, and then he just feeds on them over time. So like, he just kind of keeps them in that animated stasis. So I was like, maybe Georgie is there, but then like I'm sitting there thinking like, how is Georgie even alive, kind of thing, and then it's like, oh, it's him. That's
Well,
wrong.
Pennywise
I
does
think
say
Beverly-
he does say that he'll keep them for 27 years and feed on him and feed on the sphere, because
yeah.
when he grabs Bill and like tries to make a deal with the rest of the kids, like, you give
Mhm.
me him and I'll let you guys all live and I can just feed on him for the next 27 years or something along those lines.
So then the rest of the loser squad, if you will, makes their way into the dungeon. They pull Bev down, and Ben gets his flowers, which is a weird way to like take her out of the stasis, where he's like, "You need to wake up, you need to wake up," and then he gets to kiss her, and then she wakes up.
There
and-
was a reference to this scene earlier. It was kind of a veiled reference. So they pan over. He had a copy of the Frog Prince
oh,
in his
really?
room. You get the Frog Prince. You kiss the
Yeah, I guess
Nope.
I didn't
you
notice
kiss the
that.
prince. You wake up out of the slumber.
I-
Yada yada. Anyway,
I didn't read that.
Yeah, I
one.
mean, he doesn't
Continue.
he doesn't really get his flowers, because he kisses her, wakes her up, literally saves her. And then she hugs Bill.
yeah.
She doesn't hug. He never gets his flowers, dude.
I mean,
They
he
were
gets
telling
to
you.
kiss her.
I mean, Ben's sitting here tanking knives and shots, and nope, Bill gets the
Right.
girl.
Brought you out of your
Yeah.
animated mental status, but like, oh, Bill's
Yeah.
here.
Yep.
So this is when the squad kind of gets to see. This is where Bill just domes Georgie with the bar gun, and then it kind of morphs back into Pennywise. And this is when you kind of get that big ultimate fight of everybody kind of being like, "We're not afraid of you, you know we are." And we talked about this earlier. And like, back to Ben, the thing that, because as they're all taking their chance at Pennywise, it's morphing into the thing that they're all afraid of. It's almost like he morphs into like a mummy kind of thing for Ben, is all I could really see it
think-
as.
I think Ben just hits isn't it just like a leper? The leper still? That's what I thought it was.
No,
I mean,
No,
I
it
didn't
was.
no.
It wasn't the leper.
No, because it like wraps around his head a little bit.
Oh,
Ben
right.
just never had that clear. I kind of talked about it earlier in the podcast, but yeah, Ben just never had that clear fear that
Hmm.
Pennywise could morph into, and like I think it only appeared to Ben that once, right?
Yeah, just that one
Mhm.
time. Yeah.
Before this time, so
And that was it was
library.
and it wasn't even really like appearing to him, was it? Because it was just when he was in looking through the books of the history.
No, because in the bottom it was a headless guy. A headless
Yeah.
guy was chasing him, and then Pennywise was chasing. But
Yeah.
yeah, so they all just start beating him with bats and.
in my mind, I
Bars
just kept thinking
and-
like gang style beatdown, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically just like hitting them.
So this
um,
kind of highlights back to like the power of Pennywise, because he hits him with the railgun, he runs out of CO2, and right when he's about to go again, he screams to Bill, "It's not loaded anymore." He dry fires, but it still hurts Pennywise. So kind of back to like Pennywise is only as powerful as what you like give him for.
So how I interpreted that scene, or that very small short scene,
Mhm.
was that somehow like the power of them not being afraid of him almost gave the thing the power to hurt him.
Yeah, that's where I was like,
Yep.
So
you can just
it was almost as if they were like turning it back on him.
Yeah, you can just not be scared of him. I don't know. There's none of it really makes that much sense.
Like their lack of fear gave them the power to almost like, I don't know, will it into existence.
Yep, and you do
is how I interpreted it.
Yeah, they keep hitting him. He gets these weird giant claws that he tries to kill Mike with. Then they keep hitting him, and then he ends up back at the like another well, like a well that's deeper than the current well. Like I didn't understand this part.
I want to know what kind of sewer system they got here.
Yeah, because
goddamn.
we're like deep down a well, and then he's going down another well, and he's like falling. They're gonna hit him, and he starts like breaking apart, and all he says is fear. I was like, what? This is the payoff we get? Just say all the main bad guy just says fear, and then drops into the hole that we, I guess, goes down another well somewhere.
And then Bill gets to hug Bev again.
Yeah.
Ben gets crapped on,
Ben
and
just
Bill gets a girl.
And then Bill finds Georgie's raincoat down there.
Yep.
Are you
gonna talk about what the lights are now before we get to the ending?
So you're gonna hate this. So I looked it up. I was like, what is Pennywise?
I already hate most of it.
Pennywise is an ancient trans-dimensional eldritch alien entity, and the lights are the manifestation of his true form. They're called the cosmic lights. So the lights that Bev sees in his throat is the true form of the Pennywise. So the physical form is the clown because it approximates what humans are afraid of. So it uses the human form on it.
And if you want a little more backstory, folks, I would recommend Welcome to Derry. It was I think it was a one season.
Yeah, it was like 8 episodes or something
on
like that.
HBO Max.
Oh, really?
I would say it's not too bad. It's worth a watch.
Yeah, and this states it crash landed on Earth millions of years ago on a meteor impact and established a symbolic feeding cycle beneath the fictional town of Derry, Maine.
Millions of years ago, you just said.
So he's an alien. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Basically just an alien. A fear-feeding alien.
Yeah.
So
no, that's what you get.
It's a little bit of a letdown.
Yeah. All right.
So
they obviously they get out. They're all kind of like sitting on some rocks, kind of like where they were when they were at the quarry. And this scene I really didn't like because it reminded me of like Varsity Blues and like Friday Night Lights, where they're all sitting there and then they all start like saying goodbye, like they're never going to see each other again. They live in the same town and go to the same school. You're going to see each other again, except for Beverly.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to say except for Beverly. Yeah.
But they're all like, bye, and they're like, oh, see you around, I guess. Where are y'all going? Are you all leaving Derry?
I almost expected that text on the screen, like you see in those movies, like, Bill went on to become a world-renowned scientist.
Yeah, it was just like those things where like
a Tyler Perry movie.
They're gonna see you tomorrow. We're probably gonna see each other tomorrow. It's summer. We're kids.
Richard kept telling mom jokes and never grew up.
We're the losers club. I mean, like, come on, like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
And then everybody kind of leaves. Ben leaves, doesn't get anything from Beverly, which is just like a disappointing. Like Ben was doing all the actual stuff and Bill didn't do jack. And then you get the Bill and Beverly talking about her leaving, going to live with her aunt in Portland for as long as she wants to live there. And then she says, they all do the blood oath where they all cut their hand with a glass and then touch each other in a circle like a weird cult.
I mean, to be fair, they did just face a cosmic entity.
I mean, I guess, but
feeds on fear.
I was so disappointed at the end. I was like, because like seeing Ben do his whole thing, I was like, I'm trying to tie it to like, oh, okay, so like there was this thing that happened like 60 years ago. Like there was a traveling circus in town, an explosion happened, and like this is just like a vengeful spirit kind of thing. Nope, it's just another. Hey, we found the sequel to Evolve, is what we found, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we got.
So they
just a sleeping alien.
They do that whole blood pact. Talk about if in 27 years it's not actually dead, they'll all come back. They all go their separate ways, like they're never going to see each other again. And then you get Beverly and Bill kind of doing the teen angsty thing. She says, see you later. He runs after her to kiss her, and she puts her bloody hand on his face. And I was like, oh, thanks for the kiss and the blood all over my... What are we doing here? Thanks for wiping your blood all over my face as I kissed you.
I was struggling to, find out what exactly they were trying to convey with that.
I don't even know. It was too weird. And
we're so bonded. We're bonded in blood.
Right. And then you cut to just black and it says chapter 1. Obviously, there's chapter 2 for the people who maybe don't know. I don't think I'm ever going to watch it. I didn't really care for this one.
The
I
only
think I
thing-
had watched chapter 2, and I thought I had watched chapter 1.
I've only seen like the
So, but I'm probably
memes
not going
part
back to
where like
watch
the
it.
one guy was screaming at him, like, and like knowing that and everything that happens in this movie, that it's after child terrors. That's the only thing that makes me want to watch chapter 2 is like, how can they still see Pennywise as adults if it's only a childhood terror thing? And I was more afraid of, like, not afraid, but like this movie sketched me out more going into it of like this. Just like childhood, like weird trauma things, and like kind of going through it, I'm like, this is shit. Especially knowing it's just a cosmic entity and it's not even just like a real thing.
So we can get into ratings. I'm gonna go first. I
Yes.
gave it a 850 out of 1507.
God, you just seem so excited to get to that score.
My gosh,
man.
I thought this was gonna be great. I love a good scary movie, but this was not a good scary movie. It was like a C tier scary movie. It was all CGI, where they could have done body horror. Pennywise isn't a scary character. All he does is laugh and then scream and then run at you, which is not a good horror trope. They didn't really build suspense in any of the scenes where it was supposed to be scary. So no, I had high hopes and was disappointed. So 850 out
I
of
thought
1507.
they did a bad job of like, again, like he would go after the kids to build the terror, but like the next day the kids act like nothing happened the night before. They're like, oh, that night was traumatizing, but like best friends in the 80s though.
Yep.
right,
So it gets a low
Well,
score.
let's go hang out, yo.
Yeah, Houseman, go
Buy
ahead.
some candy and hang out at the pharmacy. I'm gonna give this one, man. I kind of struggled a bit because like some of the acting was okay, and kind of some of the cinematography was good, but I think overall probably give it like a 957 out of 1507, just because again, I think it started off stronger than it ended, and they just leaned way too much into the tropes towards the end of the movie. And oh my God, quit closing doors! I hate that trope.
Door close. Scary.
957.
Yeah. It was like a 930 for me. It still held up a little bit like on the intrigue. The only thing that like got me interested for this is like I really like sci-fi, so like knowing the cosmic part of it, like there's intrigue to that to me, like what kind of caused all this, but also like for this whole thing, it kind of ruined the whole idea of it to me, of like if it wasn't a ghost, was it like just a vengeful spirit kind of thing? No, it was just like a random thing. So I do get like intrigued to see where they go from here with it. But also, like, I'm not going to independently choose to watch that by myself.
Yeah.
I think there's a better version of it, and it's in space, and it's called Event Horizon. So watch that instead.
Or just watch
definitely more cosmic horror there. I think that actually goes down as our worst rated overall movie. Just a fun fact for everybody.
Congratulations, it.
Congratulations, it.
Could have used a little more editing.
But yeah, thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, comment. What would you like to see? Are you going to disagree with us? Probably. Most people like this movie for some reason.
Any hot takes you got? You might say we're dead wrong. We don't care. Let us know.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Next week, we're going to watch two friends take on some Russians.
Oh,
So excited.
let's go.
Talk to you guys later.